Hey everyone, welcome to my new review of the DC Multiverse DC Classics Red Tornado. This is a figure I've been waiting to add to my collection for my Justice League roster, so let's check him out. So as starters, this is going to be your standard McFarlane boxing where he has a great big window of the figure and what it comes with. Obviously, this is a Target exclusive gold label, so that's going to be there. We have Red Tornado right here at the bottom. We can see Red Tornado from the DC Classics, I guess subline, and then an image of a comic art on the back, which I think looks great. So without further ado, let's check the figure out. So here we have the Red Tornado, and if you do collect the DC Multiverse line, you do know that this is going to be a reuse body from the Alan Scott Green Lantern figure that recently came out as a collector's edition. The only difference is going to be the head sculpt and also the boots. Other than that, it's pretty much the exact same figure. So that's something I did want to point out before we start the review. Now getting on with the review, I do want to mention that I did bring this up on a previous review of a Target exclusive, which was the Moon Knight, I believe. I don't know why, maybe it's just my figures, but every Target exclusive I've gotten has had some issue with its legs, like not being the right size, I guess. Because I have to have this figure on a stand because just being able to pose him or stand him in a vanilla pose is kind of awkward, especially like the way I have to position his legs. As you can kind of see through here, he's obviously leaning to one side, which I don't know if that's just my figure, but I did want to point that out. Well, getting on with the review, let's check out the details. But getting into the detail, the head sculpt of this figure I think is really great. I'm telling you, McFarlane knows how to make comic book faces for these characters, and it just looks so good. The paint work is nice. You can see like a little shading right here around the eyes, and obviously he has like this insignia on his head that wraps around all of it pretty much, which I think looks cool. This cape is supposed to be the Green Lantern Alan Scott cape. Obviously it's the same body, so Red Tornado doesn't really have these on in the concept art or the comic art that he's based on. But other than that, the paint work right here on the gold on the symbol and then like right here on the sides is great. It's pretty clean. There's no real breakage or smudging on my figure, which is always good. And then you can see right here on the belt as well, it's pretty clean. It goes all the way down to the legs, down to the boots. And the gold right here is just really nice. It's done really well, and there's no real paint smudging, which we can all appreciate. And the cape is done in a blue plastic, soft plastic with a red like outline around it, and I think it looks really nice. It goes around the whole figure except for the bottom. The cape is pretty soft, so it can get out the way, and it just does look nice with this figure. But getting into the articulation, Red Tornado can look up about that much, which is really good. Look down that much, which is also really good. Can rotate and does have some nice pivots on the head. Arms can go up about this much before the cape gets in the way. He has a bicep swivel and then double pinned elbows, and then your typical McFarlane joints that can rotate up and swivel. Also, if you rotate them, you can go side to side. On the shoulder, he does have the rotator cuffs as well. That does get some great motion, but it's kind of tight on my figure, as you can hear. For the top of the torso, it can rotate, can bend back pretty decently, can't really bend forward. Has some great pivots as well, but be careful because it does break up the gold. Not that much, but it still breaks it up. Lower half can rotate, can also pivot, rotate back all the way, which is really nice. And then forward, he does have a pretty decent ab crunch, which I think is pretty cool. His legs can go out all the way, so you can do a pretty nice splits. They can go up about this much, go back that much, and then he does have double joints at the knee, get that much of range. And then no boot cut or anything, but legs can rotate at the ankle, hinge all the way down, hinge all the way up, and then you do have the toe articulation. And then they can pivot as well. Now for the accessories, Red Tornado does come with, obviously, what he should come with, a tornado effect, which I think is really cool, especially done in this red. And then he also, aside from the 2 pairs of fists, he does come with a pair of open palmed hands, which are just done in red plastic. And I tried to use these on the Flash figure, but the reds just didn't match, but they do look pretty nice. And then he does come with the display stand, as well as the collector, or I guess what, the baseball card, or whatever you want to call it. But I don't take those out of the box, and I don't think they're really that important. But for 20 bucks, I think he does come with decent accessories. Now for some comparisons, here is Red Tornado next to the McFarlane Batman Nightfall figure, the McFarlane Flashpoint Wave Flash, next to another Target exclusive Supergirl. There he is next to the collector's edition Superman Returns, or I guess Superman and Crypto collector's edition Superman. There's Red Tornado next to the legendary Super Saiyan Son Goku. There's Red Tornado next to the Marvel Legends Vision. And lastly, there he is to the recently released Marvel Legends Blade. Now I'm going to keep this pretty brief on my overview, but I do think this is going to be one of my favorite figures to have come out in 2024. And he just looks great, even though there are caveats of that he is a reuse mold. I do think it works for him. He comes with decent amount of accessories, with some alternate hands, and that tornado effect, which I think makes this figure all the more worth it, especially for just that $20 price point. He's going to look great in any DC like classics or DC Justice League shelf that you have or display for figures. He's going to fit right in. He has great articulation. You can get him in some pretty nice dynamic poses, and I mean, he just looks pretty cool. Red Tornado is an underrated character, and I'm so happy to see him in figure form. But let me know what you guys think. Are you going to pick him up? Have you already picked him up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.